welcome back to the county seat. Our topic today has been the Jordan River Parkway and the extension into Parley's Canyon. It will require a $47 million bond, which sounds like a lot of money, but there are other things involved in it. We've kind of gone through that with 3 new regional parks and connecting this entire non-motorized transportation system in the heart of Salt Lake County. But let's turn our attention to the bond. You know, as a mayor who's built a reputation of being really conservative with money, was this a hard thing for you to do?
It wasn't hard to do. I'm a long-term thinker. If you think today, people think, well, maybe it's a tough time to put a bond on the ballot. But if you think long-term, now is exactly the time when you want to put something on the ballot. Interest rates are very low, historic interest rates. Construction costs are low. And we still need to put people back to work in the construction business especially. So it fits those parameters. And if we're never going to build a park, that's one thing. But if we're planning on building them in the next decade, now is the best time. And $5.73 per household per year. It's not a huge sum. It's something that people can afford to pay. It's like paying for a movie for your whole family. And it's something that allows families to come to a park which doesn't cost anything. So I think it's really good for families. We have a huge demand for fields as well, sports fields. We have soccer, football, baseball. Lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in Utah now. They want fields too. So the demand is there for these recreation facilities.
So Martin, are there any groups, you know, usually you have these bond issues, you know, you go to California and you'll see these massive campaigns. Is there anybody really that's come up to challenge this at all?
As we've been out and talking with the public, we're holding a series of 6 public meetings every week until the election for residents to come out and to ask questions, to educate themselves about the bond, and to really learn what it will mean and how it will impact them. We held our first one last week in Magna. We're going to hold our second one this week in West Valley and Kearns. And we've had a few people that come out and say that they have questions and they don't want taxes raised. There's always people that are against their property taxes being raised, and we understand that. And what my role is to try and educate them about what benefits they will receive from the bond if the bond is passed. So,
well, you're 1 down and 5 to go.
That's right.
How'd the first one go?
The first one went well. It was well attended. We had some people that came out that had some great questions. We had a few people that were not in favor of the bond, and we welcomed them out to come and have a conversation with us about it and with the residents as well.
So basically, I mean, if I do my math approximately, and I'm not real good at that, sure. But basically if you got a $235,000 house, you are maybe, what, about 70, 80 cents a month?
Yeah.
So
$5.73 a year, as the mayor said, and this will provide parks and trails in the valley. And parks, they make our communities better. That not only do they make our personal lives better through recreation and exercise, but they make our communities a better place to live and work.
Now, Juan, your coalition is engaged in a pro bond campaign right now. I mean, you brought in some signs, lawn signs and some brochures and the like. How can people tap into that source if they want to help inform their neighbors?
Well, certainly we have found that people are trying to educate themselves, and the county is trying to engage in that as well. We're trying to educate them as well and encourage them to vote for this. We have a website. It's the number 1 forparks.org. It's number 1 FORPARKS.org, and there will be volunteer opportunities referenced on that. They can get out and share this education and this information that we're trying to share with them. This is a critical opportunity for residents of Salt Lake County to vote for something that's going to impact families for as long as we can foresee.
All right, Mayor, I'm going to ask you to give us a very quick answer. If it fails on this election, how hard is it going to be to come around to do it again?
It'll be hard. I say it's like buying a house. You can either pay a mortgage, live in it, enjoy it, or live in an apartment the rest of your life. Here, you can vote for the bond, enjoy these parks, and pay for it over the next decade or so, and enjoy it with your family. I always say I'd rather build parks than build more jail beds. If we can keep our kids busy, keep our families together, that's why we do this, to build a great community and a great quality of life.
Well, what a great note to end the segment on. We'll be right back with more of the County Seat in just a minute.
remember the first time that our family found that canyon road. I thought, here we go again, another road to nowhere. But boy, was I wrong. It was 9 Mile Canyon, and what we saw was more than I could ever have expected. At the end of the day, my son asked,
Mom, can we come back here again?
that was all I needed to hear.
What happens in Utah's Castle Country stays with you. Find out more at castlecountry.com.
Have you ever wanted to go on a vacation to Mars? What about a visit to the Old West? Impossible, right? Well, forget what you think is real. In southern Utah's Kane County, other worlds are just an ATV ride away. The Old West lives on in every sunset. From the downtown streets of Little Hollywood to the vistas that have inspired the world. Never find yourself closer to home and yet farther than you've ever been. Southern Utah's Kane County, where anywhere is possible.
The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration. SITLA manages 3.5 million acres of Utah lands with the express purpose of furthering the education of Utah students while promoting local industry, oil and gas, even residential development, all at the same time. Through the careful use of trust lands, we distributed more than $22 million to Utah schools last year. The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration, building the state's permanent school fund.